Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. As you can see here, I went ahead and I cleaned and washed my chicken with some vinegar. I slit the drums so the season can absorb properly inside. Also, the rest of the chicken I just cut into smaller pieces so it's easier for me to season. I pat dried my chicken, so now we're ready to season this baby. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna add some pepper. And remember, you can use whatever seasoning you have, whatever seasoning you like to use for your poultry, just whatever you like to use. Here I have some roast herbs. It's a combination of herbs that are roasted, no MSG, no salt, so you know you can just use this however you like it on whatever you like. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and go with some Grace chicken seasoning. I'm just using a variety, and I'm not using a lot of these seasoning. I'm just using like a tiny amount because, as you can see, I'm using a variety of seasoning, so you don't want to have your meat too over salty and everything. So I'm just using a pinch of each. Now I'm going in with my garlic powder, and I'm just gonna add a pinch of garlic powder to that, and I'm just gonna pour my seasoning all over the chicken. Then I'll just go ahead and incorporate everything at the end. Here I'm adding some Maggi seasoning. You can get the Maggi in the bouillon form. This is the Maggi all-purpose seasoning. You can use this also on your veggies and on your salads and stuff. This is really good on seafood also. Here I have some roasted garlic seasoning also. Like, as you can tell, most of our seasonings are like herby because we're mostly like on the herby side of the seasoning. I'm using some Old Bay seasoning also because Old Bay is good on poultry and fish or whatever you take it. I'm using a teeny bit of lemon pepper because I don't want to use much of the lemon pepper because it's very potent. Here we're gonna go with my good old Larry's, and I'm just gonna use a bit of the Larry's because the Larry's tend to be very salty. So you don't want to use too much of that if you don't want to have your meat salty, since I was already using a variety of different seasoning before. So now I'm just gonna go ahead with some Larry's, and then I'm just gonna incorporate everything. Okay guys, so now here I'm gonna add my natural seasoning. This is a blend of herbs, celery, garlic, parsley, pimento, ginger. I'm gonna have a video where I show you all the ingredients that I use in this. This is like my go-to seasoning, and maybe you don't see me using like scallions and stuff on the chicken like a lot of people will do, but in this blended season there's already everything inside of it, so I don't need to add additional scallion, thyme or whatever. It's just like if you want to add it for more flavor. Okay, so now I'm going in with some olive oil so my seasoning can absorb in the chicken properly. And now I'm just gonna incorporate everything with my hands. A lot of people like to use spoons and stuff, but I rather like, when I'm seasoning my chicken, I rather just have it with my hands instead of the spoon, because I think my hands, they'll do a better job incorporating everything and make sure that season is all rubbed in and soaked up in my chicken. Okay, so that's what I'm going ahead and do. I'm just incorporating everything, just making sure that every piece of meat is properly seasoned and they'll all have the same flavor, the same taste in whatever piece of meat you get right here. So that's basically what I'm going ahead and do right now. I'm just mixing everything together. As you can see with the drums, I just have my finger to just rub in the rest of seasoning in it to make sure like it's succulent to the bone. Okay, that's basically what I'm doing right here. So everything is basically seasoned and finished right now, so I'm just finishing off with the touches and everything. So here, as I told you before, I don't have to add any more green stuff to my seasoning because it's already I already have the blended seasoning inside of it. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just like a teeny piece of rosemary, because I like to cook with rosemary. Just a teeny piece of rosemary, a single piece of sage, because I like sage on all poultry, fish, or anything, and just a small piece of thyme. And I'll just incorporate these in that also to just add additional flavor to my chicken. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and just rub this in so this can like incorporate in everything. And that's basically it for my seasoning. So I'm just gonna cover this when I'm through. I'm gonna leave this in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use it, but it's up to you guys. Like, if you normally, I like to season my chicken ahead of time, so it's really up to you. So now I'm just gonna cover them and leave them in the refrigerator like for an hour or so. Okay guys, so now I'm back. I took my chicken from the refrigerator, as you can see right there. I have some ginger on the side, some garlic on the side. I'm adding some pimento. Some people would call it whole spice, but we call it pimento in Jamaica. I just had a few grains of pimento because I like pimento in my curry. I'm just crushing my ginger, a piece of garlic, to add to my burnt curry when I'm ready. This is the curry that I'm using, and what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm just gonna add a teeny bit of curry on the chicken. Normally I burn the curry, but now I'm just adding like a teeny bit on the chicken just to give the chicken a nice color in the meantime. Okay, so I'm just adding a few dashes on the chicken, and I'll go ahead with a spoon on this one because you know the curry tends to stain your nails and your fingers, so I don't want that. And since my chicken is already seasoned, I'm just putting the curry on it, so I'll just go ahead and use the spoon for that. And I'm just mixing everything to get it ready for the fire, for the cooking. Okay, alrighty, so also I'm gonna add this scotch bonnet pepper to my curry chicken because I like my curry chicken a little spicy. And if you don't like spice, you don't have to use this pepper, but if you like spice, you can go ahead and use this. If you want to use more, that's up to you, but I'm just using one for now because we have the kids also, which they like the spice. It's the right amount of spice, but we'll just go ahead and add one for now. So here you can see I have my pot on medium low heat. It's already hot, so now I'm pouring in some oil, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my curry powder to be burnt. Okay, yes, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add maybe a tablespoon and a half of curry to my pot to just burn that. And then with that, I'll just go in and add some garlic and some ginger just to add additional flavor to my chicken. So I'm gonna stir this around and let it burn a little. You'll know when your curry is ready. You don't want it too dark, but you just want it to have that burnt look, but not too dark. Okay, so I'm just putting some garlic and a piece of ginger in here for additional flavor, and I'm just stirring that. As you can see, the curry is getting darker. I'll be adding my chicken in a few because you don't want it too dark. I just had a piece of thyme just for additional flavor. Okay, so here we are. The garlic and the ginger, they're just releasing their flavor in the oil with the curry. So as long as you don't burn it, everything is fine. I just give it like a minute to 2 minutes, and basically that's it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and check it to see if it's burned to my suit. And there you go, guys. That's the perfect color you're looking for when you're burning your curry. Not too dark because you don't want it to be burned. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna add my chicken pieces by pieces. And a lot of people tend to add water to their chicken at this point, but as I told you before, my stove is on medium low. So what this is gonna do, it's just gonna help the chicken to form its own juice. So that I'm gonna leave it here covered for 10 minutes, uncovered, and let it form its own juice. And then I'm gonna show you what it's like after 10 minutes without adding water to the chicken. Okay, now I'm gonna cover it and leave it for 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, guys, on medium low without adding water, this is what my chicken looks like. As you can see, no water you need to add to this. The chicken will form its own juice. You don't need to add any water. Just put it on medium low, okay? If you put it on high, it's gonna burn and everything is gonna be dried out. Then you have to go ahead and add the water. So you just need to cover it, put it on medium low, and you're good to go. Okay, so I'm just like taking some of the chicken from the bottom, putting it on top, and then I'm just gonna cover it back and just let it simmer away. I'm still not adding no water at this point. This is still all the juice from the chicken. This is like another 10 minutes. So I'm just flipping them over so everything can cook evenly through. Okay, so this is basically what's happening now. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this and gives it another 5 minutes or so, because as you can see, the water is reducing now. So I'm just gonna give this 5 minutes to see where we're at with the juice level. Okay, so after 5 minutes, as you can see, it's starting to dry down. You don't want your chicken to burn at this point. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna add maybe a 1/4 cup of water to this, or a 1/2 cup, a 1/4 to a 1/2 cup of water to this, and then I'm gonna cover it now and then let it simmer. Here I have my veggies ready to put in my chicken. Okay, so now I had my water and my veggies. I'm just gonna have this simmer for another like 10 minutes until my potatoes are ready. Here I have some veggies that I'm gonna put on the side with my chicken. Okay, so here you go. My veggies are simmering away and dinner is almost served, guys. Check, I'm just checking on the juice, the gravy. You see, it's not thin, it's not too thick, the right consistency. So I have this on medium low, so it's just simmering away right now. As you can see there, my chicken is ready, everything is ready, dinner is almost ready. And there you go, guys, my finished product: curry chicken and white rice.